I boarded the 8:45 train with a half-dead phone and a headache. The air smelled of stale coffee and frayed nerves. I found a seat by a window sticky with condensation, desperately trying to ignore the man across the aisle who watched me with bulging eyes, his mouth slightly open like he might speak or scream. Minutes later, the train lurched. A jolt slammed everyone back. My phone flew from my hand and slid under the seat in front of me. I crouched down, reaching into the shadowy gap, expecting to feel chewing gum and dusty wrappers. Instead, my fingertips brushed something warm and wet. I yanked my hand back. A dark smear stained my palm. It smelled like copper. A child a few seats away started singing in a faint, off-key hum. Except no child was actually there. The seat behind me was empty, but I could almost feel a hand resting on my shoulder. My breath caught in my throat. The overhead lights flickered and then stabilized. Across the aisle, the bulging-eyed man was gone. In his seat lay a tattered coat and a single shoe tipped on its side, laces stiff with something dried and clotted. My scalp prickled. Nobody else seemed to notice. They all stared down at their phones or tried to sleep. The humming child's voice started again, closer now, like someone leaning right into my ear. A violent scream from the next car tore through the hush. Every passenger snapped awake. A tall woman with hair plastered to her face stumbled in. Her dress was soaked in red from collar to hem. She clutched a plastic bag that leaked thick droplets onto the floor. She locked eyes with me, her pupils swallowed by panic. My heart pounded as I got up, intending to run, anywhere. But the moment I stood, the train rattled and the doors slammed shut. The conductor's voice crackled over the speakers, warping into static before returning in a gravelly rasp. "We will not be making any further stops." The tall woman dropped the bag, revealing lumps of something that was once alive. She let out a wail and sank to her knees. Suddenly, the lights died. In the darkness, I heard frantic scuttling and that horrid wet sound again, like flesh on metal. When the emergency lights flickered on, I looked around. Half the passengers were missing. Seat cushions were shredded. The floor was awash in red. And there, standing over me, were empty eyes. A train full of them, grinning. I pressed against the window, trying to see my reflection. Maybe confirm I was still me. But in that glass, I saw nothing. Just hollow darkness where I should have been. And the train kept roaring forward.